Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This week we're going to go ahead and start on a few odds and ends, things like doors, finish up a couple things with the locks, also see if we can finish up some of the vinyl wrapping, and then I'm really hoping this week we get our inverter board so we can start seeing this thing drive again. So let's get to it. Alright, here's the problem with our cable assembly here for unlocking the door. So again, right here, when it's straight, it works very easy. So even when it's kind of got this sort of arc, I can do it pretty easy. So the challenge comes when you've got to do like a really severe bend, then it becomes kind of more challenging. You're still able to do it, but just a lot more challenging. So this right here, this is, it's a rod or a wire, solid wire. So it's not very flexible. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to replace it with a braided wire. If this has gotta go through a tortuous path, you know, if it's gotta go through like this, when you try and pull, it's like really struggling. If you've got something that's a lot more flexible, again, you can just go quite easily. So I'll probably look at changing out that solid wire with a braided one. All right, I got some bike brake cable. So it's kind of really flexible cable. All right, so this is the door lock cable assembly, and I've taken it apart. So essentially this is a rod, a solid wire, and it's just not very flexible. And so our door lock and the position on the door, it's really hard to kind of open up from the handle. So in order to try and fix that, we've got this cable now. So again, same diameter, but way more flexible. So this one, again, you can just kind of flex around this one. The whole thing just wants to bend. So again, this is very flexible. You can turn it around. This one's not flexible. The end that fits in here, again, I had to shave it down a little bit. It doesn't quite, it's not quite the right size, but was able to do that. And then run it down to this end. And again, I used kind of the bike brake components here to kind of crimp it on both sides. And so now, so I can get this guy. So we're able to make the brake work. So I'll go ahead and do it for the other brake. All right, everybody, we are back in the garage today. Got my work shirt on, do not have my work pants on or my work shoes on. Had a little medical procedure, so we're taking it easy today. But what we're doing is we're gonna go ahead and look to see if our door lock assembly will work now with the more flexible cable. So let's check it out. All right, so I bolted in the lock assembly. And again, I've got the cable assembly and the handle right here. And I'll probably put a quick clip of the old one, how hard it was. And essentially when I would do it, it would almost not return. All right, next problem. So I got this guy mounted in here, but where it's got the cable, it doesn't have a lot of room. So I'll see if I can show you down here, but basically, it wants to kind of go out kind of away from the door, but essentially it immediately has to kind of come up and back around like a U-turn. And it's got kind of enough friction in the system that when I do the door handle, like it's really kind of not wanting to go. I mean, I think you can get it, but then the other thing is it kind of doesn't quite, I don't know. It's just a lot of friction, I think, is all. I mean, it still moves, but it just seems like it's a lot of friction. So I have to see if there's some other way to, just don't see any other way to do it though. So I don't know, we'll keep looking, see if there's some way to kind of relieve some of that friction. And anyway, so this one though, again, I'll probably put it on the door panel just to kind of get a good feel for it. But this one, if it's held steady here, I can basically do this without much force, and you can kind of see the whole door lock assembly. So I think that'll work. Maybe I'll just try one time with this guy. All right, so it's latched in, and yeah, it works great. Okay, here it is with the door panel in. So again, I'll go ahead and put that in, so that's like it's closed. And then from here, we can open it. It's awesome. So I think I like that. Again, it kind of has the right feel for opening a door. So I like that. Also, I put this panel in, so it somewhat fits. It's, again, I don't know if this is the fiberglass or what, but this one's popped up a little bit, but I do have those, there's the metal plates in here, and I've routed out here to put those snaps in, so I've got a screw that can screw this down tight and kind of make it nice and flush. I have this door lock, it's electric door lock. Basically, when it just gets a 12-volt signal, it'll either tell it to go out or tell it to go back. So I'm going to be mounting that in here, and so basically it's just got to move the door lock. It's kind of hard to see, but it'll be interesting to see where I can mount it. It does come with some mounting hardware. Show that here, but not exactly. Again, this will be the rod that can connect to the door lock, so I can kind of bend that around, but I'll probably need to fiberglass something in and then be able to bolt the lock to it. So I'll try and figure that out. Okay, so I was making great progress, but it turns out that the lock needs like more travel than this has right now. So I don't remember what this travel is. Maybe it's like an inch or something, but it needs just a little bit more. So I'm not gonna mount that one right now. I need to get a different one. Okay, let me explain a little bit about what I'm learning about these locks. So up here, this is unlocked, this is locked. So when it's in the locked position, this is for the exterior handle. Sorry. So it kind of moves this direction and really doesn't engage the locking mechanism. So again, it's locked, so you pull the handle, nothing really happens. When it's in the unlocked position, you can pull it and you can see it starts to engage things and it unlocks the car. So I'm able to kind of release this. What I'm learning though is it is kind of an old school lock, so if you lock it, again, this cable is for the essentially inside the car. But if you do the cable, so again, if you reach inside the car and pull it, so it's in the locked position, and if I use the handle now on the inside of the car, it unlocks it. Not exactly what I was expecting. I was kind of hoping more for the newer cars where if it's locked, it's just locked until it's unlocked. Did you guys hear that? Let me show you, This is the competition. This is my neighbor. All right, so for me, you know, I hear that sound, you know, the engine going, and for me, it's kind of like the call of the wild. So it's kind of like, what? Where's that coming from? And I gotta go see it. So that's my neighbor. He's super cool. He owns a car dealership, and so he'll drive nice cars home from time to time, and sometimes I'm not sure if they're his or not, but really cool guy. I am going to challenge him when everything's done, or when we're at least street legal. We're gonna go do some racing. So that'll be fun. All right, here's door number 2. We're gonna go ahead and see if this one works. So I've already got the striker plate latch in. So I'm just gonna make sure that this releases it. Okay. All right, again, this panel seems to fit in a little better than the other one. But yeah, I'm really liking it. So I've been going back and forth on the electric locks, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Just kind of try and completely finish the doors. All right, here is the crazy plan. So I've got a pivot here, and I'm kind of just fabricate a little piece of metal here. The longer arm, if you will, goes to the lock, and I'm pushing it a little bit up from that. So basically I have to push a little less for this bottom one to travel further. So I'm gonna go ahead and fiberglass those 4 things in, and I think that'll work okay. I did have a viewer suggest doing the hot glue. I think in the past I've done some epoxy. It takes a while to set up, and so hot glue actually works really good for kind of just mocking things up and seeing if you like it. So keep those tips coming. All right, here it is. We'll go ahead and let it set up, but those 2 points will secure the door lock here, and we got that one and that one that are fiberglassed in. That'll kind of secure the pivot. So we'll let this one sit up. I'll probably go ahead and move on to maybe some of the vinyl stuff that I've been working on while this sets up, and then we'll come back and test it out, and if it works good, we'll do the other door. Okay, so here's the dash thing. I guess what I want to show is, so we had a seam. I'm trying to use a light because it's kind of hard to see here. But basically I had a seam all along here because we couldn't quite wrap things around. So basically I wrapped the inside and then used this seam material. And I still need to go back and kind of like, along this crease, I've got some of the contact cement that's kind of, I don't know, I put a lot on, so it's kind of oozing out. So I just need to go along there and kind of clean that up. But other than that, I mean, that to me that looks pretty good. Like I said, other than where it's kind of showing the contact cement. So again, this is all wrapped in here. And then I got the seam material. So we'll go ahead and clean that up, see if we can't make it look a little better. All right, we were able to kind of clean it up a little bit, so you can't see the contact cement anymore. So I think it looks really good. so right here we had a drip from the fiberglass resin, and what I found is that you can actually, again, I don't know, it seems like it tends to harden. Even if this is just like without the hardener, it seems to harden to the point where you can't really get it off. And so what I found is that some Windex, or I think it's really the ammonia D, kind of really helps break down and soften up the fiberglass resin. So we'll show you here. So it'll take just a second, but what it does is it tends to turn like this, I don't even know, it's kind of like a bluish, whitish, bluish color. So you can kind of see it starting to do its thing there. All right, so can you see that? I feel like it's not focusing very well. It's focusing way back there, but that maybe shows you a little bit better. So it turns kind of this whitish, bluish color, and then you can kind of just scrape it off kind of with your fingernail. So just a little tip for when working with fiberglass, if you get it where you don't want to, little trick I learned. All right, so I had my my 2 fiberglass nuts down there. I just thought with as much force as this gave, it might not be enough, so I kind of just fabricated 2 quick brackets with some holes and had everything on top, fiberglass, everything in place. So you know what this is? This is going to be a surefire way that something's going to go wrong and you have to like grind everything out. But we will see. Okay, we're going to give this a try. For whatever reason, I'm going to say 2 to 1 against. Okay, so that's locked. Maybe it was already locked, so we're going to try unlock. Okay, so that's unlocked. We'll try lock again and see if we can get this thing to lock. Seems to work. Seems to work. Let me try one more time. Okay, I'm just gonna cycle one more time. So right now it's unlocked. So here's locked. Yeah, that works good. So now let's try unlock. Last time. Sweet, got it working. All right, well, I was a little surprised there. I thought for sure it wouldn't work, but tried it a couple times. Seems like it's good, so we'll chalk that up for a win. This is my neighbor again, his other car. Okay, something else that's interesting. So I got contacted by EV West. So it's been almost 2 months. So I kind of given up. I think I mentioned to the viewers and everybody that I'm just gonna go it alone, try and find my own board, work with EV controls, but just kind of out of I don't know, a sense of fun. I continue to email and call about every 4 to 5 days, and just kind of to see how long it would take for them to respond, or if they would just kind of permanently ghost me. So anyways, it's been about 2 months, but they're back. Happy to have their help. Just thought that's an interesting fact. Okay, it may seem silly, but the tool of the week is the chip brush here. I'll put a link in the description below. Found a place to get these for about 50 cents a piece, And so it's really important when you're doing a fiberglass, or I've been doing a lot of the vinyl where I have to do the contact cement, to get a nice fresh brush. It kind of just helps, and if you got a whole stack of them, then you're not worried about cleaning them out, or do I really want to do it? Maybe I'll stack all of my fiberglass to do all at once. So anyways, it's helpful to have a lot of these around so that you can just do it whenever you need to do it and not worry about the cost. All right, weren't able to get quite as much done as I'd like. Kind of hampered a little bit by some recovery time, and didn't get the board. So we were able to get a few things done. So that'll do it for this week. See you next week.